call it, like to play tricks on the mortal people. Mortal means somebody who can die like us, whereas the good people live forever. Or so the stories are. So you better watch out if you're in Ireland, because you never know when a good person might play a trick on you. In fact, I'm pretty sure there's good people here in Utah as well. Because has anyone ever walked into a room and there was a mess, and your parents blamed you for it, but you totally know it wasn't you? The little people did it. Undoubtedly. Have any of you ever, been in a fight with one of your sisters, and it totally wasn't your fault? And you know that you were framed? That somebody stole something and tried to make it look like you did it? That was the leprechauns once again. So you better be careful. Now this is a story about a man named Lusmore. And Lusmore had a certain encounter with the little people, also known as the good people. And Lusmore was kind of like that Geppetto character. He was that nice old man who loved to make toys for children. He was always doing good. And one day, after a hard day's work, making orphan children happy, and sweeping up gutters and painting the walls of the hospital, Lusmore decided it was time to call it a day to go home. Now, this wasn't easy for Lusmore to do, because he had lots of things to carry, and he had a big hump on his back. And the hump was so heavy, he walked like this. Don't laugh, it hurts. Well, Lusmore was walking through the forest until at last he said, that's as far as I can go for now. So he sat down by a tree and just rested for a moment and began to slip off and dream. And in his dream, he heard the most peculiar sounds. It was singing, beautiful singing, and it sounded like this. Someday, it was so wonderful. He just wanted to keep listening to these beautiful voices. Sunday, Monday. But he thought their song sounded a little bit unfinished. So he kind of decided he was just going to add a little bit to it. So when they said Sunday, Monday, he said Tuesday. As soon as he said that, the music stopped. Lusmore realized he was dreaming. He wasn't dreaming at all. The bushes started rustling. He was scared. He grabbed a stick. When out of the bushes came a few little people. And the little people walked right up to Lusmore and said with wide eyes, "What was that you said?" And he said, "Oh, I said, Tuesday." And the little people looked at each other and said, "Tuesday? Why did we never think of that? That's brilliant! Tuesday!" And then they danced around singing, "Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday." And they were so happy they clapped their hands and danced for joy. And they said, "Oh, thank you, kind Lusmore. How can we repay you? Don't hold that thought. We know just how to repay you. Come with us." And so he followed the little people. They went along a path until they came to the side of the mountain. And the mountain opened up by magic. And Lusmore looked into this new cave, and he was speechless. Because you know what he saw? Gold, and lots of it. The entire cave was filled with mountains of gold and treasure. And all around were little people, and all the little people were dancing and singing joyfully, "Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday." They looked up at Lusmore and said, "To thank you for this brilliance that you have shown us, we will grant you any one wish." Well, Lusmore had never been offered such a wonderful thing before. I'm sure you kids have thought a lot about what you would do, whether it's having superpowers or $1 million or a never-ending ice cream bar. But he thought about this and he said very quickly, "I would love to have this terrible hump on my back removed." And the little people said, "It shall be done." So they started to climb up his leg, and he giggled because it tickled just a little bit. And they climbed up onto his back, and then with the little people hands and a bit of fairy dust, they pulled that hump right off. Landed on the floor. And at once, for the first time ever, Lusmore came up straight. And it felt so good. Lusmore stretched, and he wanted to dance. He kicked up those hills, and everybody did an amazing that beautiful song, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. When Lusmore woke up, he was afraid that it had all been a dream, because once again he was lying on the forest path, and he reached back to feel the hump on his back. But it wasn't there. It was gone. It was real. Lusmore jumped to his feet. He was so excited, he skipped back to the village and told everyone about his good news. And when good news is told, it spreads like fire. There was another man who heard about Lusmore's wonderful luck. And this man's name was Grumplebuffin. And Grumplebuffin also had a terrible hump on his back. But he wasn't nice like Lusmore was. In fact, he was kind of mean. When children would accidentally kick their balls onto his lawn, he would threaten to shoot them. When he was served mashed potatoes, as some sort of sign of defiance, he would pour his gravy on the floor. If his shoes were too tight or his tea was too hot, he would throw a terrible tantrum. If his tea was too cold, he would pick up a sledgehammer and smash porcelain rabbit dolls. He was that mean. Well, Grumplebuffin heard about what had happened to Lusmore. So he went up to Lusmore and said, "Is it true you lost your hump? How did you do it?" Lusmore replied, "Well, it was really easy. I was just there in the forest, and I waited, and then I heard this beautiful music, Sunday, Monday. So I finished the song by saying Tuesday. And then they took me to an enchanted mountain, and they took my hump away." All right, got it. Okay. So Grumplebuffin followed the advice of Lusmore. He didn't want to hear any more. He walked into the forest. He sat down by a tree and waited. Waiting! Hey, I'm waiting! Well, he waited so long, eventually he started to sleep. And in his dream, he thought he heard Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And once he snapped out of his dream, he was hearing the music for reals, and so he shouted as loud as he could, "Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday!" The music stopped. The bushes began to rustle. As out of the bushes came the little people. And the little people looked up at him, and they said, "What?" And he said, "Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday!" "Excuse me?" "Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. What part of that don't you understand?" "You think you're really something, don't you? Well, we shall see about that." "Oh, yes, we shall. Now, where's my reward?" "Oh, yeah. You'll get your reward. Come with us." So the little people took him along the forest path. They took him to the side of the mountain, which magically opened up into a cavern. They went inside, and Lusmore saw the mountains of gold. And he wanted it. Oh, did he ever want it? He really wanted that gold. And the little people looked up at him, and they said, "You ready for your wish?" "Oh, yes. I wish for all of the gold and take my hump off." "That's nice. Here's what you're going to get." And all the little people started crawling up his leg. "Ooh, get off me, get off me. They crawled up his back, and they took that hump that had been sitting on the ground for Lusmore, and with a bit of fairy magic, stuck it right onto the back of Grumplebuffin. And now he had two humps. When he woke up, he hoped really badly that had been a dream. And when he reached back, it had not been a dream. And the moral of the story is, Irish folktales are weird. Just kidding, that's not it. The moral of the story is, if you're good, these little people might have something nice for you. But if you're bad, you'd better beware. So if you're going to go home and fight with your siblings, or disobey your parents, or slack on your chores, or not do your homework, beware. The little people